What's up, World Summit Fitness? This is the continuation of the Instagram reel that I posted up. Now we're going to talk about those 3 movements that I spoke and curtailing the deconstruction of it all. We went over the one arm push-up, one arm, one leg push-up, the pistol squat, and the straddle L sit. The reason why I chose these 3 exercises to deconstruct in this fashion is because if you're at your home and you have absolutely no equipment, just household material like a broomstick, a ball or a foam roller, or a sponge or boxes, these exercises are very attainable and they cover your bases. We have the one arm, one leg push-up, which covers your pressing needs in a unilateral fashion. So we got the shoulders, we got the triceps, we got biceps, we have the serratus anterior, we have the oblique chain, we have hip extensors, we have hip stability. And if you train barefoot, even better, right? Moreover, we also work on our rotary stability. So it's something very important to pay attention to. Very underrated phenomenon of the fitness industry. Second is your pistol squat. You gotta train those legs. If you're on your pistol squat and you're doing your single leg training, not only are you working on the single leg balance, you're working on your hips, you're working on your ankle mobility, you're working on quad strength, and you're working on foot and ankle strength. All great bang for our buck movements. It also facilitates the 3rd movement on our list, the straddle L sit. And if you haven't done the straddle L sit, you'll catch a serious episode of cramping, like a spastic frog. With that said, the straddle L sit will train your quads, your hip flexors, and your posterior delts. Very true, especially if you train in the fashion of having your scapula depressed and a proud chest, so never having your shoulders shrug. This series is going to pretty much break down those 3 movements and their regressions, some mobility exercises, and accessory work. So we're going to follow through with what was the most asked for, which is the pistol squat. And with that said, we're going to go over foot strength, ankle strength, mobility, and all the good stuff, and covering some really good hallmarks on your training. The squat on the wall squat. It's going to be a very brutal, annoying movement. The reason why I say that is because you're going to get frustrated with certain phases of the exercise where you'll feel stuck and the mobility just isn't happening. You won't move anymore. I encourage you to take your time through those sticking points, find the tension that you need to facilitate the movement, breathe through it, and fight for that struggle, because it will happen. Few other tips. The positioning of your arms. If your arms are in front of you, that is the easiest version. Second, right here, like arms out like a T, like an airplane. This would be the second. Arms above you is our pinnacle, our 3rd progression of the wall squat. So we're gonna also think about our base of support, your foot and ankles, versus your center of mass, your torso. So if I begin here, and squat down. Before actually getting right into the wall, warm up with about 2 to 5 reps, and then take about 2 more paces. As you get closer to the wall, the rep speed will get a lot slower. So I squat down, 1, 2. Again, go. So you noticed as I moved closer to the wall, I showed you all the different variations from the arms in the middle to the side and even up here. The closer you get to it, the harder it becomes. So the goal is to be able to have your arms like so, perfectly straight, no bending of the elbows is very, very critical. and having your feet as close to the wall as possible. If the toes are touching it, picture perfect. If you're like 1 centimeter away, don't worry about it. That's some really, really, really good functions of the lower body chain if you're that close. To make it difficult, we have options. We can add the stick right here, and we now have our overhead squat. And what this is gonna do is that it's going to challenge your spinal extension, your thoracic extension, your proud chest posture. And if you have rounded shoulders, you're gonna have a bad time with this. So how good is your shoulder posture and your thoracic extension in conjunction with the function of your feet and ankles? And this is why the overhead wall squat, or the overhead squat in general, makes for a perfect assessment tool to see where people are lacking in their structure, mobility-wise. So here's what it looks like. Grab your stick, like so. Keep it above your head, and do the same exact thing. And that's what happens when you lose your balance. So I probably went a little bit too fast there, but fight for it more and more, and we'll try to get that rep back. Go. Same thing. All right, and there you go. So speed's important. If you try to go too fast like I did, you'll fall back. So go slow, take your time, and if you notice, I even got closer to the wall. What the stick also provides you is the feedback of how bad is the posture and your ability to maintain it, because the stick will continue to judge and go forward and forward and forward up until the point where it bangs on the wall and you can no longer complete the exercise. So you want to do your very best to either keep it above your head, behind you, and if it does go in front of you, make sure it doesn't bang on the wall. That's the best thing that you want to go for. So it's not going to be an overnight fix. However, it's a very, very good tool to use. My other third and final progression is you want to narrow everything. The base of support, the center of gravity, center of mass, meaning that you're going to have your arms here locked in. That would be one progression. So you could do the squat and try to keep that, remember, not here, but here. There we go. Fight for that and own that. And then the other one as well would be the narrow squat, which in and of itself would be my second primary exercise for you. And you're gonna notice how good this movement is. It's tough and it's not for speed, but it definitely does do its justice in improving the functionality of your ankles. So going down, 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 down. Take your time, take your time, take your time. My calves are covered by my hamstrings. Keep those knees closed in. And there you go. So if you can narrow squat and also have a narrow grip on the stick, your mobility is golden. And at that point, even mastering the narrow squat in and of itself gives you perhaps one of the best foundations that you can do to approach the pistol squat training. So you'll be there, you'll be just fine with that. I'm gonna try that though with the narrow squat and the narrow hand positioning. Let's see how that looks. I've never done this one before. Yeah, I can't do that without actually getting the stick out in front of me, so it's very difficult. Maybe I could try with the hands like this, wide. Let's give that a go. Yeah, and that's not gonna happen either. But anyways, those are your moves. Okay, now, when it comes to mobility training, at the end of the day, the more you squat, the more exercises you do with your legs involved, you are training mobility, especially if it's good range of motion. But we want to be very, 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 very specific in a movement that doesn't exactly tax us so much. So this is one of my favorite drills that you can do. Get yourself in the all fours crab position, or tabletop as they call it. And what you're going to do is with the toes, you're going to rock and roll them over. You're going to roll, 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 roll. So this would be the center, right? Fix that up here. This would be the middle. So all the toes get involved. This would be external rotation here. So now when I go external, I'm a lot more on my pinky toes. And when I go internal, inside, I'm a lot more on the big toes here. Show you on the other leg. Going neutral on my center line, boom. Then I go external here, and I work internal. I can also lean back a bit, get a nice little pull, nice stretch across the quads here. And I really enjoy these movements because, again, toes and ankles are being involved tremendously, which you need for just healthy, stable knees and a healthy lower body in general. Healthy feet, healthy you. So these are your exercises. Give them a go. I'll have a description of how to actually fortify, use them for reps and sets, all in the description box, and articles as well. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how we can progress these even further. Thank you.